Hello everybody. I think I'm live. Welcome to Tune In Tuesday. This is officially our first official segment of this of Tune In Tuesday. Previously I have been doing guided live meditations. It wasn't really formally called anything, but I have been enjoying playing with how I can title my names in the way that I'm showing up each day, to give my level of showing up some structure and some predictability and consistency. So welcome. We are tuning in today as it's actually part of a method that I do it with everything. I have spoken about it here previously. I did introduce it in more depth in Teacher Thursday. So there's a bit of a layout to the way that I show up. And Tuesdays is the stage where I meet with fear that would limit me from showing up at my fullest capacity as the cosmic visionary that I am. And it is something that I am super excited to be sharing with you today. So why would we be so devoted to meeting and clearing with subconscious fear? For me, it was just that enabled me to be standing here before you today. I had, a whole heap of stories, a whole heap of trauma responses that were part of my daily, just how I showed up. It was very much a part of my identity to be responding to traumas that I did not realize were fully playing out in how I behaved, in how I viewed or perceived the world, and all of the rest. So for me, when I showed up to a session with an unknown woman, if you saw my origin story yesterday, I did bring this into the conversation then. But basically, I showed up for a method session. I had no idea what it was. And the whole entire session was to meet and clear subconscious fear. Coming out of that session, 12 months later, I had moved mountains. I was in Bali, learning how to deliver this same medicine, this same powerful process, this same powerful method to meet and clear subconscious fear. Because it is when we do that, when we meet our subconscious fear, that we open ourselves to opportunities that we are not able to see or experience because our fear stands in our way. So a bit of science about this. We are fields within fields within fields. We are made up of electromagnetic fields, and it is these fields that we are able to connect to everything that exists. When we are holding fear, when we have a dominant program running that is fear-based, our field or our electromagnetic field is contracted. It is restricted. We are not fully connected to the one mind, or to our expanded nature, the quantum field, sorry. And so we then are given an opportunity to have a look in what is going on, tune in to see what fear is holding us back, is limiting us from being able to experience a life greater than our current environment and our current experiences. When we attune ourselves, when we dive into our subconscious to locate and identify a subconscious fear, we then begin to massage it. Simply by shining a light on it, we begin the process of dissipating that. I like to think of subconscious fear as subatomic knots, much like if you had a muscular knot, and rather than getting somebody to massage it, though that is a really brilliant way to meet subconscious fear, the same process is occurring. We are massaging with our conscious, our passionate, focused intention and attention to release that subatomic knot, that subconscious fear from your subtle anatomy, so that you can then expand into the truth of who you are, which is pure, unlimited consciousness. Meeting and releasing subconscious fear is not something that you do just for shits and gigs. It's something that you do every single day in order to be able to open yourself to your expansive nature every day. It's a muscle. It's something that you do, that the more you do, the better you get at doing it, much like doing any sort of physical exercise. and it's something that I recommend my clients do daily, because it then opens them to cosmic opportunities. So what we're going to be doing today, we are going to be tuning in through a guided meditation. We are going to be moving out of the high beta brainwave state and drop into a brainwave state that allows us more perspective, a greater understanding, a greater connection with, and a greater brainwave state for us to be able to meet with this fear, this subconscious fear running in our program, so that we can give ourselves a lovely subconscious massage today. So if you are not familiar with meditation, if you are not familiar with what is occurring, we day to day are running from our high beta brainwave state. That is the brainwave state that we need to function, to get the kids ready for school and get them out the door, to go do the groceries, to come home, unpack that. That is all at our high beta brainwave state. That's our fight or flight response, and we must drop out of that space and drop into the space of our heart in order for us to be able to enter into these altered states of consciousness. From that altered state of consciousness, we are open to greater suggestibility, as Dr. Joe Dispenza describes it. We are able to see more than what we are able to see. The way that I have come to sort of see it, because I am a very visual person, is when we are in high beta brainwave state, when we are in that fight or flight response, our perspective is closed off. We are only able to see a single point in front of us. When we begin to drop out of that the way of functioning, we begin to open up and out and expand our consciousness, our perspective, and able to receive and perceive much more. And this is a way that we can sustain ourselves by becoming more operative at, say, for example, alpha state rather than high beta. So I can't see how long I've been on here. I am mindful of time. I do have a client straight up after this. So let's move into a practice now. So if you are joining me live or will be catching the replay, and if it is safe for you to do so, I invite you to close down your eyes. Take in a deep breath through the nose, filling your belly as much as possible, and hold at the top. As you release out through the mouth with an audible sigh, feel any tension that you are holding in your body, in your mind, be released with your breath. And doing this in your own time for 2 more conscious breaths, breathing in through the nose, holding at the top, and letting it all go out through the mouth. On every exhale, allowing yourself to soften even more into the surface on which you are sitting. Feeling even more melt away. And if you hear my child, allow that to anchor you even more into this space. Bring 2 fingers or the palm of your hand to the center of your chest. With your eyes closed and your breath deepened, you signify to the nervous system that you are safe to be here. And with this physical touch at your heart, we identify that we are diverting out of the cranial mind and dropping into the brain within our heart. Continue to breathe into this space as you feel, hear, see, or just know that there is a spark of light at the center of your chest. And with every breath in, this light begins to expand with ease and grace. See, hear, feel, or just know this light filling your entire body. And then on your next breath, feeling it expand to and fill the entire space in which you sit. The light of your consciousness spreading like wildfire as it expands now to fill your entire home or building that you are currently sitting within. And on your next breath, expand and stretch this light out even further to fill your entire street, and then your entire state, and then your entire country. With each breath, allow your heart to intend and invite this consciousness, this glowing light, to expand with ease and grace. And see, hear, feel, or just know that it has encircled the entire planet. Everything inside your field, bathed in the light of your consciousness. And from this expansive state, you have allowed the electromagnetic field of your heart, which is the most powerful field around any other organ in your body, and is your connection, your bridge into your subconscious. And from this space of expansion, you are able to receive guidance to be able to locate and identify subconscious fear. Silently or out loud, I invite you to ask, what is the dominant negative self-belief or fear that I am attuned to right now in this moment? Allow your non-local intuition to drop this fear into your consciousness with ease and grace. You may see it as a particular experience or event. You may hear it externally from outside, or most likely from somewhere within you. You may feel it or sense it within your body or within the field just around you. Or you may simply know it without needing to know how you know it. And once you have located this fear, it could be an event in your life that is causing great concern or trouble for you. Trust whatever it is that your intuition has brought into your consciousness in this moment. Rate that fear out of 10, with 10 being the most intensity, 1 being the least. Again, you will hear, see, feel, or just know where this fear is sitting on this scale. And once you have found that number, I invite you to let that fear go just for a moment. And we are going to move into cultivating a vibration beyond that fear by cultivating feeling states such as gratitude, compassion, freedom, and joy. Allow this feeling state to come to you in whatever way it does. You may see images of events in your life that evoke these feelings strongly within you. Perhaps being in nature, spending time with loved ones, going on an adventure. Allow this feeling to expand within you. You may see it moving in and out with every single breath, rippling out like waves of the ocean, hearing it rippling out like sonic waves. Give yourself over to this feeling state of gratitude or compassion or freedom or joy. Breathing it in, breathing it out. Taking in a deep breath now, filling your belly as much as possible. And let it all go out through the mouth with an audible sigh. Now looking around for that fear that you just identified and see if you can rate it out of 10 again. Out of 10 being the highest, or it may have even be showing back to you as nothing. There may be no number to even rate it with. And once you have found it, if it is higher than 2, I invite you to go back into this practice of heart congruence, of holding frequencies and vibration or feeling states of gratitude, compassion, freedom or joy, bliss. And hold that feeling state for a few moments longer. Keep bringing yourself back to feel this feeling state with your whole being. Your mind may wish to wander if you are not practiced at this process, and that is okay. We are here to work this muscle by meeting and clearing subconscious fear. Taking in another deep breath and let it go. Looking around for that number again. And our aim is to bring it below 2. If you have still found that you are scoring above 2, that is okay. I would invite you to go into this practice once more. But I am going to assume that you are all powerhouses and invite you back into this moment, taking in a deep breath and let it all go. Bring some gentle movement to your hands and feet, lowering your hand to your lap. And when you're ready, blink open your eyes. Meeting and clearing subconscious fear doesn't have to be as complicated or as scary as one might think, but it is an absolute superpower to be priming your life beyond the current circumstances that you may be experiencing. If you are experiencing highly stressful events in your life, if work is like a weight on your shoulders, doing a practice like this every single day will enable you and empower you to be able to experience beyond this current circumstance that you may be feeling. I am extremely glad that my daughter managed to not interrupt us today. That was, I almost was going to postpone it. I did have to pick up my little girl as she was a bit unwell today, but we did really well. Thank you everybody for joining me on Tune In Tuesday. It has been an absolute privilege having you in this space with me and meeting and clearing subconscious fear with me. That is where it's at. I will see you all on Thursday. Actually, Thursday, we don't have Teacher Thursday this Thursday because I have my webinar this Thursday. There is still time for you to register for that if you would like to come along and learn about how imagination and intuition go hand in hand. We are also talking about how our imagination is the 4th dimension. It is what bridges our dreams and our vision from the 5th dimension and brings it into the 3rd dimension. She did well. I know, I could hear her calling. I'm like, just stay here, Kia. Yes, so that'll be really fun. And I'm also really excited to be talking about how media, digital media specifically, how digital media through movies, through music, through social media, especially through the news, how that is playing a huge impact on subconscious fear in our subconscious, whether we are conscious of it or not. And I think it's really important for us to become conscious of it, because there's a lot of shit out that is available, and data that is being input into our subconscious. And the more people who are aware of it and are beginning to start discerning what they are allowing into their subconscious, the better. So I'm super excited to be teaching that this Teacher Thursday. Thank you again for joining me. Lovely seeing you here, Joey. Love you. And I will see you all soon.